Hey YouTube, welcome to a new Unity 3D space tutorial. And what we're going to do in this tutorial is improve our space landscape by adding a lot more planets, some more cool features to it. Well, opening up some more features. So we do eventually need a ship, which I am trying to model. I'm just trying to find a decent one to model. Attempt to model. So what I did is I went looking on the internet and I found a couple of planet textures. I think it's 8 in total. So the ones I got was Planet Earth, Planet Earth a bump map, which I'll explain later what it is. Ixchel, Mars bump, Minimalist, Quam, Skull, 7-dip we've already got, Talos, and then the Sun. So we're gonna apply all them, but I got these from the Free Bips blog spot here, which we've looked at before, and I downloaded a couple of those. It did take me quite a while, since you have to wait 10 minutes between each download, which is kind of annoying. But hey, it's for free. As you can see, YouTube, you cannot get me, it's Creative Commons. And the next one I found was JHT's Planetary Pixel, and basically reading on this, he created this website full of planets here. So if you click planets, because he couldn't find them. So I got the Earth one, the Mars one, so they're really high quality. And what I did is I came on, and you can either get a super high quality one if you pay him, or you can get the free ones which still work. So I got the colour map and then the bump map. They're the two I got. And then I went to Mars, and then I got the first colour map and then the bump map, because I didn't really like that one compared to that one. You can get others as well. There's loads of different ones. The Sun I went on to and just got the default Sun. So yeah, I went to those two in the description, and I downloaded these. So I've created a material out of every single one, so just a basic material, and applied it, but I haven't done the Earth or Mars yet, and I'm going to show you why now. So what I'm going to do is make a new one, say Planet Talos, and then equip the Sun's text to it. So it'll just be a basic Earth for now. And what a bump map is it gets all the little details in it, and using the help with Unity shaders, it brings it out so it looks like there's depth to it, like there's 3D depth, but it's actually just a texture. Well, kind of thing. So what you're going to do is go back to your planet Earth, and if you click shader and click bumped diffuse, and then what you can do is drag the bump one onto normal map. It'll give you this error, just click fix now, and then you'll have a higher quality Earth than what these are. So let's just start applying them, but first I'll just do Mars, just because we haven't done Mars yet. So Mars, exact same procedure again, drag Mars on. You'll see it does colour the image blue once you do it, but blue is defaultly the colour of bump maps. So if we just have a look at one, you can see it highlights all the details inside the Mars thing, all the real depths of it. So like when you did the terrain, that's got it makes its own bump map. See if I can find it. There, look, it's a bad example, but that's what Unity's bump map is. It uses that to measure the height levels of it. So let's start by putting some planets in. Easiest way. So we'll clone Planet Surrender, and I'll call this one Earth. And yes, we are eventually going to make land for all these planets, simply because that's what we're just going to do, because it's cool. So I'm going to split it apart, and I want it some distance apart. So I'm going to say roughly 2,000 in between each. The reason is because then it will take the player a long time to get there, just flying normally, but then we could include hyperspace to get between them, or we can add trade lanes, so you hit one and it sends you shooting across to the other one. So many things we can do. So we've got the planet Earth here. Of course it's not done yet. So we can go in, copy this. Atmosphere, that's going to remain the same. Redshift patrol, we don't need that anymore, so we can get rid of that now. Universe to space station, yep, we still need that, so we can keep that in. That'll still take us to space, well, land, but that's okay for now. So planet Earth, let's find the texture and drag it on. Oh, wrong one. Now. Okay, it's not wanting to drag that on. We'll drag it up straight up to there then. Boom. So there. As you can see, the black lines are highlighting the actual where they are. So if we were to switch between normal and then higher, you can see it does like bring out some details in it, like mountains and stuff. So it looks really nice. I'm not fond of those up there, but I think that's just because the way Unity textures things. But hey, it works. So it's seamless, so you can just go around it. Look, you can see details. It's really cool. So I'm going to say Earth's slightly bigger than planet Serendip, just because I want it to be. So we're going to say it's 250, 250, 250. And this is not off of any scale, that's just off the top of my head. So it's slightly bigger than Serendip because I want it to be. Hey, don't argue. So, next one is, we make another one. And we're going to do something cool with the sun as well later. But first thing I'm going to do is go Game Object, Create Empty, and I'm going to call this Planets. Put it at 000, so it's in the centre of the whole thing. And I'm going to stick our 2 planets inside it. Just basically a folder to keep everything in. So I'm going to duplicate, call this one Mars. I believe Mars and Earth are slightly the same, but I think Mars is smaller, so I'm going to say 230, 230, 230. Like so. And move it across another 2000. And it's called Mars. Everything's right, so we just apply the map. Mars. Boom. It's great, so we've now got 2 planets going. Perfect, look at that. See, I like that one. It looks really good, especially with the bump out. So what we can do this time is we'll start going the other way. So I want to go this way a little bit, and what we're going to do is make it go up as well sometimes, make it look really, really random. So we'll duplicate this one. Our next one is X shell. So we've got this one, and I'm going to move it 2000 across. So it's the other way this time, so it's like, doesn't just end. And what we can do eventually is, while I'm doing this, is we can put a barrier around everything. So the entire universe, so you can't just keep going forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, is like, I don't know, a ring. And if you go outside this ring, your ship destroys like that or something. Like a huge bit, so you can keep going, but you'll eventually just die or run out of fuel, which would be a good idea. So, as you can see, try not to click and drag because it opens everything up. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on putting these planets on. I'll speed it up and I'll just put things everywhere and make it look really cool. So, back in a minute. So, I'm back and I've put every planet on, randomised sizes and made it look really cool. The sun is of course huge, and don't worry about it if you're looking at it and going, well, that doesn't look very good. It will look good when we do it in a minute. So you can come in and have a look. I've deleted some of the planets. Which one was it? This one here, Skal. I've deleted that so you can't go to Earth on it, go to any planets, because the atmosphere is too big. But on some planets like this one here, Planet X shell, I've put stories behind it, so the atmosphere is really small. So you say it's the atmosphere, well, when you're trying to board it or something, so I don't know, Traveller tells you the atmosphere on its shell is so low that apparently you are squashed to the ground and cannot jump, and takeoff is really, really hard to do or something. It takes extra fuel. But planets like this one, I've put the atmospheres so close together, then you can say if the sun's atmosphere in 200 years expands, then planet Mars gets ripped to shreds. Easy enough. So I've done it really cool and put it in random positions. So you start here, you can go there, 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 there. Of course, I'm eventually going to add some more. Then we're going to add some more systems. So we've done that. You can see the atmospheres. They look really, really cool. I like that. So what we're going to do is make our sun look a lot better. Now I did only actually figure this out this morning because the next plan was to do something else, like make this a fuel scoop where you go into the sun and collect fuel. But then I found something better to do. So what we're going to do is cover the sun in particles. Now if any of you have ever heard the expression, the sun is a big ball of fire, well, we're going to take that right to its point and actually make the sun a ball of fire, because it looks so cool. But we are going to keep that there, because it looks even cooler while that's there. So, really easy to do. But first thing I want to check is make sure everything, the reason I've put the sun's atmosphere so huge is because, well, I don't know if it's in real life, but in our game, the sun's rays come out a lot and you can't get near it. I think I've heard people say that people can't actually land on Mars yet because it's too hot. So there you go, the sun's rays. So imagine the sun is like that, that's what I'm saying. So in order for you to fuel scoop, which I'm saying, you'll have to come right close to it. So yeah. But anyway, what we're going to do here is add a particle emitter into it. So we'll create a empty game object and call it particles. I really hope that's spelled right. I'll stick it in the sun, and now because it's a child of sun, you can just put 000, and you can see it's bang in the middle of it. So we'll go to add component, and we'll add ellipsoid particle emitter, a particle animator, and a particle renderer. They're the three we need. So for the materials, I'm going to use the default fire one, which is Flame D, or Fire 3, I apologise. I know that looks really, really good. So you'll see that it's really, really tiny at the moment. So what we're going to do is set the size to 1000 by 1000 by 1000. And you'll see, you still can't see it because of how big it is. But don't worry for now, it'll fix it. We're going to change the minimum size to 5 and 5. I know it seems big. And we'll set the max emission to 999,999. And then increase the size to 3000. So as you see, they're starting to come out now. And it's starting to look better. I'm going to untick simulating world space, because what simulating world space does is when you drag it, everything stays where it is and slowly moves across. But if you untick it, it'll just move wherever you tell it to go. Like that. And it's just, we're not going to be moving the sun. I'm going to tick random rotation on, so they're randomly bouncing around. And I'm now going to increase the size to say something like 2020. So it's getting better. I'll set the max emission to 5000, 5000. You really do just have to play with it. So you see it's getting better. And now the final key element, what I discovered earlier, is this size grow feature. Does what it says on the tin, it grows over time, makes each particle grow. And the key one I found was number 3. And when I click it, you're going to see a dramatic change. There is our ball of fire, our sun. You can't see it very well there, but if you click the sun, so as you can see, our ball of fire looks huge now. And you can zoom in really close and you can just, because we've left it yellow and left the fire yellow, it looks like it's part of it. So the big ball of fire, you can't really see it unless you go up close, but we're not going to keep it like that just yet. We're going to add some more features to it. So the next feature I'm going to add is an empty game object into it. Well, that's not a feature, but still. And we're going to call it, in fact, get rid, I forgot. Go game object, create other, point light. There we go, that's better. Ooh, that looks funky. Never mind. But what we're going to do is go to point light and drag it into the sun, then put it at 000. And I'm just going to expand its range to 1000. So it's outside, okay, 10,000. So all these are getting slightly lit up by it. There we go, the sun's back. So, and then once we've done the point light, I'm going to set the sun, the atmosphere and the particles, and I'm going to go to the layer here and click transparent FX. And yes, you want it to do it to all children. And you won't notice any difference whatsoever, but if any of you's ever used Photoshop or pieces of paper, what layering basically does is you put your background layer on, and then you put another layer on, another layer, another layer. But all these notes are doing is labelling them. So transparent effects is labelled transparent effects. Ignore raycast is raycast, which I'll talk about. And water, you got water. Simple. And what you do, if you go to lights, you can actually choose on culling mask what layers it actually like lights up or goes through. So if we untick transparent effects, you'll see nothing else happens again. But what we've done, also turn that layer to default. What we've done is told it, do not light up the sun or the particles whatsoever. It'll just ignore them there. And the reason we've done this is now if you come to flare here and click 50mm zoom, you would expect to click sun, but personally I don't think it looks that good. But if you click 50mm zoom, you see that you get this orbital camera effect coming out of it wherever you look. And it looks really good. As you can see, now it looks like a real sun, kicking off much heat, it's blinding you in the face. And as I said, if you go to the sun just, I don't know, it just doesn't look as good, I think. So I'm going to keep it small flare, that's just for guns, but 50mm zoom, that's what I'm going with. Draw halo doesn't really do much on this Unity, they took that out. But you can change the colour if you like to yellow. Some people prefer it as yellow. I think I'm going to keep it that, actually, it looks quite good. So as you can see, it blinds you in the face, which is what it's supposed to do. You can always turn it off with light as well. But the reason we're putting it in is your character won't be able to see it, because as you can see, if we go to the top, this little triangle there is your character's vision. So until your character gets all the way over here, he's not going to be able to see it. So he must enter the atmosphere. And with the point light being, actually, he could probably see it around about there. No, he'd have to get to around about here in order to actually see it, and you have to get even closer. You can change this by going to your character, choosing first person camera, and setting the field of view bigger or larger, and then setting the far distance further. Oh, it's not working. So if I set the furthest to 3000, you can see further. But the further you see, the more objects you have to load, and it's not very good. The error here, don't worry about it, just get rid. It's just something I played with earlier. So we've got lots and lots of planets now. Yes, we can go around them all, but it'll take forever. So what I'm going to do is in MISC scripts, when we start, is just boost our ship up so we can have a quick look around. So first ship, we'll set the top speed to 300. As you can see, we've got the planet here, and you can see no other planets. But if we come zooming down here, you've got Earth. Let's see, we're moving much faster now. So then we should be going to the next planet anytime soon, which is this one here. So we're coming up on Mars, there's Mars, and then the final one will be the Sun. And yes, all the atmospheres should work. There you go, but we go out just before it beeped. So we're in the Sun's atmosphere now. And see, we're very slowly approaching the Sun. Our health is gone, we are dying. So you will have to increase your hull if you're wanting to fuel scoop. But, well, we're dead now, but we're nearly there. I want to see the Sun. And there's the Sun slowly approaching. And there it comes. So as you can see, the Sun is huge. I am going to try and find the shader, what fixes it. That's annoying. Fixes it from just blocking, but the reason it's doing that is if your character is here and you're coming up, you're loading it as you go into it like that. So you're of course going to be blocking it up. So if I come into the side, as you can see, your character's going to be loading whatever it sees, so load. So you can fix it by spreading your camera and everything, but it's weird to do it. You'll have to play with it again, but I'm going to keep it like it is. The point light, I don't know why that didn't show, but if you go up close enough, it does show. So that's all we're going to do for today. No coding really. What we'll eventually do is add some asteroids to say this planet, which circles it like Saturn's rings and stuff like that. It'll be really cool. One last look at the awesome Sun. So, boom, ball of fire, and ever so often it'll explode outwards like it's firing solar flares, so we'll add some cool things to it, make it look really, really good. Thank you for watching, I hope you liked it. Everything's in the description. Please join my Facebook group. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.